Your user is filling out a long form. They hit submit and 401 unauthorized. Token expired, all their work potentially lost. This is the token expiry problem and it is one of the most common complaint about JWT authentication. So without refresh token, this is how it works. You got access token for a particular period of time and then access token expired and you say unauthorized and you have to log in again. You try to fill the whole big form. When you submit it, you got unauthorized, right? Because your session already expired, your token already expired and you cannot submit the form. Now we have introduced this refresh token. So when you do the login, you got the access token and refresh token. Your access token expired, you will get a new refresh token and your form submission works as expected because your access token has been replaced before the token already expired. So this is called a silent token refresh. Or Axios interceptor internally can get the new access token in the exchange of the refresh token once you receive unauthorized from the server. So let's take a look onto this in the deep. First, let's try to understand why we use short expiry times for the token. Security perspective, if someone steal your JWT, they have full access to your account for 15 minutes of expiry. The damage is limited to that window, but in that time, a lot of things can happen, right? I mean, we can just use a too short 5 minute constant logout. The user will be facing too long 30 days, major security risk. Sweet spot, we can stay with the 15 minute of expiry of the token. And then now how to deal with that kind of expiry, right? User logs in at 9, gets token expiration at 9:15, works happily till 9:15 and makes an API call at 9:16 and he sees unauthorized token expired, right? So this is a login succeeded, 5 minutes left, token expired. And you will see 401 unauthorized token is expired. User is redirected back to the login screen. So there are three approaches. Let's see which one we can use. So these are the three approaches. One is long live token. Don't do this. First of all, once token that lived 30 days, simple but dangerous. Option 2, sliding expiration used with a caution. Extend the token expiry on each request, better, but stolen token cannot kept alive indefinitely. So this is also not a good solution, sometimes acceptable. Refresh token, this is the right way. Access token, short-lived 15-minute, used for API call. Refresh token, long-lived 7 days, used only to get a new access token, and this is a production ready. So what is a refresh token strategy? Okay, user logs in with the email and password. Server returns 2 token. Access token 15 minutes stored in the memory. Refresh token 7 days stored in the memory. API request, client sends the request to the authorization header. Everything is fine. Server validate and process the request. Before access token expires, client calls auth refresh. This is the call that they will send. Server validate the refresh token from the cookies and server issue a new token. So this is the whole picture. You have access token, refresh token. Before your access token is getting expired, you send a refresh token request, and because refresh token is valid, and in the exchange of that, you can get a new access token which you can replace in the memory, and your access token again got a 15-minute expiry window. And in this whole process, I never suggest you to store anything in the local storage. You can keep in the cookies HTTP only. Both the token, access token and refresh token will be there. Access token, refresh token can be sent to get the new access token in the response cookies. So this is how the access token will get a 15-minute expiry extended every time. So refresh token and access token both should be sent in the HTTP only cookies, long lived but only used for refresh. This is the refresh token only sent using auth refresh token. So this is like even if attacker steal the access token via XSS, they have 15-minute maximum window. They can't steal the refresh token because of HTTP only. I mean, this is how you can do. Either you can store both the token in the cookies, but refresh token will always be in the HTTP only cookies. Now on top of that, there is another thing is how you are going to get a new refresh token. And another important aspect is every time when you refresh token, you get a new refresh token. The old one is invalidated. That is also. So here we are doing auth refresh token. It will give you the new refresh token and new access token. Access token will be replaced. Refresh token will be in the cookies. But the old refresh token, because it's a new token pair, so we need to replace the old refresh token also, because that cannot be used again to get the access token. So let's understand the flow. Login, your server issues both the tokens. Access token is in the memory, refresh token is in the cookies. Now you are sending the API request. Your access token expires after 15 minutes. You will send auth refresh API and it will give you the new token pair and you will invalidate the old pair. Access token is already expired. Refresh token you need to invalidate from the database or whatever, and you will use the new refresh token and access token. So these are the two ways of doing it. First is, let's say if we are using React, then there is a React hook we are using use auth. What it is doing, it is just keeping track of the timer, and before 2 minutes it is just calling this refresh access token. What it is doing, it is just making auth refresh, and based on the response it is setting access token is authenticated true and it is updating the refresh token. And again there will be a timer. So this particular hook in the React component is just keeping track of the time and calling the auth refresh. That is the one way. Very simple, right? You can just write a simple hook which will track of the time and it will fetch, it will call the refresh auth refresh and it will update access token and the refresh token internally. Another is just using Axios interceptor, which is also every front-end developer aware of it, right? In the Axios response.use, whenever you see 401 request in the 401 status code in the response, what you can do is just simply request for the refresh token, right? So what you will do is new token, access refresh token, try catch, and you will get the new authorization. Whatever you have a refresh token, you will send it and then you will make the API call again. I mean, this is all like this. You send the API call, you get a 401. I'm not going to forget the API call. I will get the, I already have a refresh token. I will make a API call. I will get the new access token and I will use that access token, update the original request with that, and I will make the API call. This is called silent authentication again, even when your access token is expired. That we can do with the Axios interceptor, because in the Axios you can check if the status code is 401, that means we have received your token is invalid, but we already have a refresh token if it is already refreshing. Don't do anything, otherwise do this thing. And then you redirect. If nothing happens, if everything is error, then redirect user to the login, reject everything and let user login again. So this is a simple code example. Here I'm also explaining again, set up a silent refresh, which is just doing a simple timeout and sending a calling auth refresh, getting the new token, setting access token and a refresh token. I mean, you can just get this code anywhere and you can just write it in your React application. This is called a silent refresh because we are keeping track of time and we are calling auth refresh and keeping our application steady without getting the unauthorized. Otherwise, use Axios interceptor. What we are doing is, if in the Axios interceptor, wherever we get a 401, do the refresh access token, the same call maybe, which will give you the new token. And with the new token, you update your authorization bearer token and send the request again. Otherwise, reject it. So these are the two traditional ways I used to do when I used to write front end, React or NestJS, but these are the two possible ways of dealing with this kind of thing. So this is how you can keep track on the expiry, and this is how you will deal with the expiry of a JWT token with the refresh token.